I told you about the microbiota. The multiplication of those microorganisms is not called infection, okay, because it's normal for them to be present in the body. When we talk about infection, we talk about microorganisms. We talk about the multiplication of microorganisms, which shouldn't be here in the body. And also we have pathogenicity. Pathogenicity is the ability of an infectious agent to cause disease. So this is called pathogenicity. And also another term is called virulence. It's the degree of pathogenicity of a pathogen. So degree of pathogenicity of a pathogen is called virulence. So in pathogenicity, we talk about the fact that if the infectious agent is able to cause disease in the human body, but in virulence, we talk about the degree of pathogenicity of a pathogen. And we have pathogenesis. It's the process by which a disease begins or develops. And we have virulence factor. Now, virulence factors are products, usually, proteins or carbohydrates, which are related to the virulence or pathogenicity of a pathogen. Different bacteria have, different virulence factors. And in your future sessions, when you study different bacteria, you will realize, you will learn more about the virulence factors which are produced by those bacteria. So let's move on. So first of all, in order to cause disease, bacteria need to enter into the human body. This table is from Murray's Microbiology. You can find it in the book. And in this table, you can see that how bacteria are able to enter into the human body. First of all, some bacteria enter into the body through ingestion. So if we drink contaminated water, or if we consume contaminated food, the microorganisms enter into the gastrointestinal tract and they can cause infection. Also in this table, you can see examples of the microorganisms which are able to enter into the host through ingestion. This is a long list of microorganisms. This is a long list of bacteria. For now, I just want to talk about Vibrio cholerae, but you will be learning about all of these bacteria in this table in the future sessions. But for now, I just want to talk to you about Vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae is a gram-negative bacterium. It's the causative agent of cholera. Have you ever heard cholera? Let me type it for you. Cholera. Can you tell me about cholera? Can you tell me about the disease? Cholera. How do we get cholera? Diarrhea and dehydration due to bacteria. Contaminated water. Most of the time we get cholera by drinking contaminated water, or also it's possible that we get cholera from contaminated vegetables and contaminated seafood, like clams or mussels. So Vibrio cholerae is a gram-negative bacterium. I told you how this bacterium enters into the intestine. So this bacterium can cause severe watery diarrhea, which can lead to severe dehydration of the patient. If you don't treat your patient, quickly, it's possible that you lose your patient. because as I said, the patient suffers from severe watery diarrhea. It means that they lose a huge amount of water during the course of the disease, and if you don't replace the water and electrolytes, it's possible that you lose your patient because of the severe dehydration. And another way that bacteria can enter into the body is through inhalation. Okay, the air that we breathe in, it's not sterile. There are some microorganisms in the air, and by breathing in the contaminated air, it's possible that we develop infection. Again, you see a long list of microorganisms which can enter into the body through inhalation. In this list, we have Mycobacterium tuberculosis. We already talked about this bacterium. So tell me, what do you know about Mycobacterium tuberculosis? Cause tuberculosis. What do you know about tuberculosis? What do you know about this disease? Mr. or Ms. Rabi, what do you know about tuberculosis? Infectious disease in the lung, respiratory disease, it causes tuberculosis. It has a cell wall, but it has a special cell wall. It has a waxy cell wall. I told you this bacterium is resistant to, uh, somehow it's resistant to medications because of its cell wall. It's very hard to treat this infection, the infection caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So as your friend said, it's a contagious disease. So if someone who's suffering from tuberculosis, if that patient coughs, they just spread Mycobacterium tuberculosis along with tiny droplets of their respiratory, which are coming from the respiratory tract, and we can get the disease from them. So Mycobacterium tuberculosis enters into the body through inhalation. And sometimes, microorganisms enter into the body through wound. The skin which covers the body, if the skin is intact, when there is nothing wrong with the skin, when there is no tear, when there is no burn, when there is no cut, when there is no injury in the skin, the skin that we have on the body actually prevents bacteria from entering into the body because we have this thick layer of dead cells on the skin, and bacteria can just cross this thick layer of dead cells and enter into the body. So that's why the intact and healthy skin actually prevents bacteria from entering into the body. But when there is a wound, when there is this injury in the skin, now the door is open, and bacteria, also other microorganisms, can enter into the body and cause infection. For example, we have this bacterium, Clostridium tetani. What do you know about this bacterium? Have you ever heard the name? Clostridium tetani. It's a Clostridium, so do you recall? It causes tetanus, exactly. Can you tell me more about tetanus? What's the clinical manifestation of a patient who's suffering from tetanus? Muscle spasm, exactly. Severe, so it causes severe muscle contractions, spasm. Okay, good. We have this bacterium Clostridium tetani. It's a Clostridium. So I told you that Clostridium is a genus which is able to form spores. Sometimes um, the soil is contaminated with Clostridium tetani. So the spores of this bacterium can be present in the dirt. Okay, so if someone has a wound and the wound is exposed and the wound gets contaminated, for example, with the soil, it's possible that the spores of this bacterium, enter into the wound and they start to germinate, and they produce a special type of virulence factor that we will be talking about. And this virulence factor actually affects the nervous system, and the result is severe muscle contractions, which could be fatal, which could be fatal. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you step on a, nail or something, I mean, whatever of the skin is, you know, can cause if can cause this situation. Okay, if the Clostridium tetani is present, I would say. And sometimes, bacteria enter into the body through needle stick. If you want to give an injection to your patient, first of all, it's really important to, apply a, you know, apply an antiseptic agent on the skin, and then give the injection to your patient. It's really important because our skin is exposed to the environment. There are some microorganisms living normally on the skin. They are part of the microbiota, and also there are some microorganisms living on the skin transiently. And if you give the injection to your patient and you haven't applied an antiseptic agent on the skin of your patient through the puncture that you have made on the skin, those microorganisms can enter into the body and again cause infection. So it's really important to pay attention to this fact. And also sometimes some healthcare workers, when they are doing their job, it's possible that by accident they just needle themselves. You know, in that case, again, it's possible that they get the infection. And sometimes arthropods are contaminated with microorganisms, including bacteria. If they bite human, again, because they are puncturing the skin, it's possible that they transfer those microorganisms, on the in the human body, and cause disease. Again, you're seeing the examples of these types of microorganisms in this table. We have various, microorganisms in this category. For example, we have Yersinia pestis. It's a very dangerous bacterium. It can cause plague. It can cause plague. And, this bacterium can enter into the body through arthropod bites. And also, there are bacteria which transfer to the human body through sexual activities. We have some bacteria in this table. We have Neisseria gonorrhoeae, which is the causative agent of gonorrhea. Let me type it for you. So Neisseria gonorrhoeae, it can cause gonorrhea, and it's a sexually transmitted disease. and which can lead to infertility. So it can be very serious disease. Also, we have chlamydia trachomatis, we have treponema pallidum. So as you can see, we have some bacteria which can cause sexually transmitted disease, and they are transferred to the human body through sexual activities. Okay. So after entering into the human body, colonization happens. Colonization means that bacteria have entered into the body and now they have started to grow, they have started to multiply in the body. So we say that, okay, now the body is colonized with microorganisms or with bacteria. So colonization refers to the presence of a bacterium in a host with growth and multiplication of this bacterium. So this is actually called colonization. And in most cases, colonization needs adhesion. Adhesion means attachment. Okay? So, when bacteria enter into the body, they need to keep themselves from being washed away. And in that case, they need to attach to the tissues and the cells that we have in the body. For example, consider a bacterium that has entered into the bladder. If this bacterium is not attached to the walls of the bladder, it's possible that because of the urine flow, the bacteria just removed from the intestine. I'm sorry, from the bladder. Or I just want to give you another example. Consider a bacterium that has entered into the intestine. If this bacterium is not attached to the walls of the intestine, it's possible that because of the movement of the material that we have in the intestine, they just leave the intestine by feces. So if they want to stay in the intestine, they need to attach to the walls of the intestine. Otherwise, they will be washed away. So adhesion or attachment is very important, and in most cases, colonization needs attachment or adhesion. So adhesion, most of the time, needs special structures, special molecules on the surface of bacteria, which are called adhesins, as you can see in this slide. So adhesin. So adhesins, as you can see also in this image, adhesins are, molecules on the surface of the bacteria, and these molecules can attach or can bind to receptors on the host cells. These receptors are not